Hi, and welcome to our World of Wonders. Charlotte's not with me today, but I've put together a slideshow of the Union Cemetery. We've had some really good results at this cemetery. This was done in the fall of 2013, and we're just getting around now to being able to put it out. This is the first of 3 slideshows. That's how much information we got this time around. This is a picture of, I believe it's called a mausoleum, I'm not sure. When we first got there and parked, Charlotte was out of the car faster than I was, and she said, I got a weird feeling over here, and I just stepped up and took the picture over the back of the car. This is what I've got, and to the left you can see an orb, and here's a close-up of the orb. It's got an unusual bit of coloring in the light to the one side. I wish I could really get a better crop. Like when I blow it up on my computer, you can really zoom in and get a fantastic look. But this is something that I want you to remember, because later on there is an orb that sort of does the same type of color with the reds and yellows to the left side of it. Okay, this is a crop of the actual mausoleum itself, and you can see there's this weird little light. This time around we had lots and lots of unusual little lights that we really couldn't explain. I won't spend too much time on it. I mean, it's a little light. Something that we got on the next photograph is the flowers, and in the full picture, if you go back, it looks like there could be an orb, but it's simply the flash reflecting off the leaves. So sometimes you think you've got something when really you don't, so you have to be aware of what you're taking pictures of and what can possibly happen. Okay, the next series of pictures are some of crops and some I took like a second or so afterwards, so it's the same area, slightly different angle. At the bottom of the limb, above the black stone in this picture, there is an orb, very hard to see, which is why it's so important to use your computer so that you can blow up and see things much more clearly. Here's a little tiny orb that never would have been noticed if I hadn't been using the computer. And the picture after this, which is a wider shot of that same area, above the stone, about 3 in from the left-hand side, there is such a pale orb that it wouldn't have been noticed. And this is why it does take Charlotte and I some time to go through our photographs, because sometimes if you're just in a hurry or you're tired, you're not going to notice these at all, and that's something to remember when you're doing these types of investigations. This next picture was a bit of a surprise for us. This incredibly bright light, reminiscent of the light that we had when we were doing Lakeshore Road, and we had that really double bright light. The next picture after that is a crop of it, and it has almost that double shape to it, like it was moving very fast in the split second that we took the photograph, which does seem to be a trait of some of these. There are no lights at all in this part of the cemetery. The street lights are behind us, so there's no way that we could accidentally have a street light captured. The only thing that is in the field behind there is the big mill pond, and there's no lights in that particular direction that we were facing. So it is still a challenge, and we'll go back to the original. We really have no idea other than this is a definite anomaly. Charlotte, as you can see her elbow and the blue shirt in the corner, also took pictures in this direction. She's not taking a picture at the time I took mine because her arms would be up and you could see. She got nothing. It was just, trees in the background. So that's an anomaly. We both were taking pictures within seconds of each other, trying not to get her flash in my camera or my flash in her camera. So this is a really important anomaly. Just as a note, if you had heard some unusual little popping or weird sounds, I have a kitten in the house right now, which I may add a picture later. He's an adorable little thing, part Siamese, and he and his mom have been running around and doing some things. So if you hear a weird sound, or if you hear my son make a weird sound, it's just the kitten attacked. So that's all that was. Has nothing to do with the show whatsoever. This is a picture to show you the green section sign. Most of these pictures were done behind that section and over to the left. So if you ever happen to be at the cemetery and are looking, well, where did they get these pictures from? This is the area of the cemetery that we were in. Here's a picture that I took of Charlotte taking pictures. And you'll note above her head and just below that green branch, there's a really faint orb that if you try to zoom in, it just sort of gets lost in the background. And on the plants, I wanted to show you the crop of light. And the reason, like, I'm assuming this is just a reflection of her camera, but when I zoom in on the computer screen, it does look like there's a face in there. You can't really see it in this particular picture, but this is a reflection of light as far as we can tell. This is a picture, you can see the tall pinky stone in the back, of the reflection of the flash on the stone, just for comparison so you can see how it looks. It's more square, has a lot of angular lines to it, and it's just a reflection, but I wanted to put it in there so that you can see for comparison. This is a picture of, I call it the bowl stone. It looks like there's a bowl on top. And if you go up from the bowl to the left, there's a couple of orbs. They're very faint. There's one larger one that is more prominent that you can see, but there is another one almost at the lip of the bowl. This particular stone was really important because we had tons of orbs at different times around this particular stone. So here's another picture just moments after I had taken the first one, and there's two orbs kind of in the same similar place, and if you look over to the right above the gray shorter stone, there's a little pinprick of light. And like I say, we found tons of these weird little lights, which I did super crop. So the next picture will be of the two orbs, much brighter and clearer. You can see them better than in the other photograph. The next picture is of the light. You can see it's up in the trees near the right-hand corner, quite small and blown up. It's, you know, indistinguishable. It's kind of hard to say what it is, but these little lights were all over the place, and we found it very interesting. Some of them were actually heart-shaped, and some of them had unusual little sort of lines behind them like they'd been moving. But this is just another one of these many anomalies that we found at the cemetery. I'm going to have two more shows of evidence that we found, and I'm going to say goodbye from our World of Wonders. I'm Michelle, and Charlotte says thank you for paying attention to our wonderful show, and I'm going to have a little special friend say goodbye at the end of the video.